Your hands, arms, feet, and legs. In just a second, the doors will be sliding shut. Aloha everybody, good morning. My name is Shelby. I'm going to be your safari guide today out here on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Just a few safety reminders as we do start to head on in. Please remain seated at all times with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside of the truck. As we do spend the next 20 or so minutes together, there is no standing up, passing anybody from lap to lap, holding anybody up into the air, or switching your own seat. And in just a second, when we do get the all clear from our warden, we'll be starting our safari off in the Little Aturi Forest. Animals throughout this forest up ahead rely on natural camouflage in order to stay concealed and protected from their predators. Let's keep our eyes on the dense vegetation. Hopefully we're able to see a few different species up ahead. Looks like starting off first on the right hand side, there is a dark brown animal with stripes on all four of their legs. That is an okapi. Upon first glance, pretty easy to think that okapis might be relatives to the zebra. However, they are the closest living relative of the giraffe. Okapis and giraffes do have a very similar skull structure, as well as a prehensile tongue, which is a word used to describe body parts that have a grasping capability and do work in a very similar manner to our own fingers. Not only is the okapi's tongue capable of grasping and pulling, it is a very long appendage as well. Okapis are able to lick all the way to their eyeballs and inside of their noses. Up on top of the hill on the right hand side, they are kind of far back, but you might be able to briefly see two black and white birds. Those are the saddle-billed storks. They do get their name from the yellow saddle shape that sits directly on top of their bill. They are a bird that is 5 feet tall, fully grown, with a wingspan of 9 feet wide.
You should be able to see it in a second.
And in just a second, up on top of the hill on the left-hand side, I do see another animal in the forest with a prehensile body part. We're going to be headed past the black rhino. The black rhino has an upper lip that is more pointed and triangular in shape, and it is prehensile, so it does have figure-like capabilities as well. It helps the rhino to pick up food, hold onto it, and carry it with them as needed. Fully grown, a black rhino does weigh about 3,000 pounds, which might seem pretty massive, but that does make them the smallest of the rhino species. Despite being the smallest, they are the most territorial, so black rhinos do spend a majority of their life in solitary. Further back on the right-hand side, those dark brown animals with horns are the bongos, and then closest to us in the truck, the lighter brown animals without horns are the greater kudu. Greater kudu are the largest of the African forest antelope, standing at about 6 feet tall when fully grown. Oh, next we head into the Safi River in just a second. We'll be passing the water on both the left and right hand side. I do recommend keeping your eyes on the edge of the water, maybe even below the water. Hopefully we're able to see a few different species of semi-aquatic animals. But it looks like we'll be having some pretty good luck out here today. Starting off first on the right hand side, there are going to be some smaller white birds. Those are the pink-backed pelicans. Pink-backed pelicans do get their name directly from the pink skin on their backs that will get brighter during their mating season. Over on the left hand side as well, those are two Nile hippos.
And if you don't believe me, you're in.
They're so cute.
Africa.
I didn't know hippos were so cute.
Nile hippos are a semi-aquatic animal, so they will spend time both in and out of the water. Despite how much time they do spend underwater, they are not the strongest swimmers. Their bodies just completely lack those skills. Instead, hippos prefer to walk or run along the bottom of any water that they're in. They can hold their breath for about 8 minutes at a time on average, which comes in very useful if they do need to sleep fully submerged under the water. Hippos are also nocturnal, which is why we're finding most of them resting right now. They spend a majority of their day sleeping and resting so they can be more active at night. No, they're not sunburned. That's just the color of their skin. And a group of hippos, just like the one we've been headed in between, is also known as a float. A little further on the left-hand side as well, we are headed over the first predators on our safari. Looks like I do see quite a few Nile crocodiles. Crocodile will go to be anywhere between about 16 to 20 feet long. They are both ambush and opportunistic predators. They're able to jump over half of their body length out of the water in order to attack and catch their prey. Fully grown crocodiles can also weigh 500 pounds, and they're able to eat half of their body weight in one sitting. So it is about 250 pounds of food in one go. That does reduce their need to eat daily. They only need to eat about once every 2 weeks, and that is enough to keep themselves full. They are ectothermic reptiles as well, so crocodiles do have to release excess body heat in order to thrive. They can do that by submerging their body below the water or holding their mouth open for an extended period of time.
Wake up from one nap.
That one.
But in just a second, we'll be slowly making our way down towards the very open grassland of the savannah. This is the largest part of the reserve, so we'll be spending the rest of our time together this morning out here. Once I do get to the bottom of the hill, if any animals look like they are a little further away, just hang tight. I promise we will slowly but surely get as close as possible towards all of them. But on the right-hand side, this very large tree does mark the beginning of our journey into the savannah. That is a baobab tree. Baobab trees will remain leafless for 9 months out of the year in order to better preserve any water stored inside. During the dry and droughty seasons, baobabs are an excellent source of water for animals like elephants, giraffes, and zebras. All those animals will bite and rip pieces of bark out from the base of the tree. And once they do that, they will chew on the bark to get any moisture from it needed. The baobab tree, becoming an excellent source of water for the savannah, does earn it the nickname Tree of Life, just like what you did see a little earlier when you first entered Animal Kingdom. Baobabs are also documented to be about over 2,000 years old out in the wild. Looks like the first animal we're going to get a pretty good look at as we do enter the savannah is coming up on the right-hand side. They are dark brown and they have very massive horns. Those are the Ankole cattle. Each Ankole cattle horn will grow to be about 3 to 4 feet long. So from tip to tip, Ankole cattle do have about 6 to 8 feet of horns on their head. Within their horns is a honeycomb-like structure made out of their blood vessels. As their body temperatures do increase, Ankole cattle will filter blood up into their horns and then back down into their bodies. Helps them to better regulate any blood circulation and keep their body temperatures cooled down. The horns are also very light in weight. An Ankole cattle horn only weighs about 8 to 10 pounds each. That is the weight of an average bowling ball.
Does it affect them if like their horn breaks, like their ability to
It might, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty rare for their horns to break. I've been with them for a while. I've never seen one or encountered one with a broken horn or heard anything about it. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
They can also use it to like drain their noses as well. So like they have like a sinus infection or something, they can tilt their head to one side and all of the mucus will just go to a different horn. So they can tilt it back and forth. It's pretty cool.
That sucked if it's that horn.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, for real.
A little further back on the left-hand side, they're going to be back within their den. Those smaller dogs are the African painted dogs. African painted dogs are one of the most successful hunters in Africa. with a very high success rate of about 90%. That success rate comes from their ability to work together as a pack. They are led by one alpha male and one alpha female, and they chase after their prey until their prey just drops from exhaustion.
Oh, okay.
When they do catch their prey, they allow the weakest members of their pack to eat first, and the strongest members will always eat last. Their close social bonds also cover how they do like to live within their family groups. They are a very family-oriented animal. That was a pack of 6 brothers. A little further on the left-hand side, those very, very small, lighter brown animals are springbok. And then closest to us in the truck, the 3 darker brown animals are the sable antelopes. Springbok are the smallest of the antelope species, standing at about 3 feet tall when fully grown. They don't let their small height deter them though. They are able to run at speeds up to 60 miles per hour. The springbok can also jump about 6 feet into the air as well as 13 feet forward. They are also getting closer and closer to the taller spotted animals. These are the Maasai giraffe. We're able to tell that these are Maasai giraffe because they do have a rougher edging on the outside of their spots. Their spotting pattern is not as neatly defined as other giraffe species. They will stand anywhere between about 18 to 20 feet tall, which makes giraffes the tallest of the giraffe species. And just like the relative, the okapi, we did see about 15 minutes ago, giraffes do have a prehensile tongue. Fully grown, a giraffe tongue can be about 18 inches long, which is actually about the length of your entire arm. It looks like on both the left and right hand side there are several black and white striped animals. These are the Hartmann's mountain zebras. As their names suggest, Hartmann's mountain zebras do prefer to spend time within higher elevated mountain plains. They've adapted to have a smaller and slimmer hoof structure, which helps them successfully climb up those mountain ridges and reach those higher elevated plains. A group of zebras, just like the one that we're headed in between, is also known as a dazzle. Looks like you do see a few more giraffes coming up on both sides of the truck here in just a second.
So they'd be dazzled.
And a group of giraffes just like this is also known as a tower. And then if you do look a little further on the right-hand side, those gray animals up on top of the hill are the wildebeest. Wildebeest are a migratory species of antelope. They migrate every year in a very large group of about 1.5 million. That was pretty funny. I've never seen them do that before.
Got a rear end over here.
A wildebeest migration can be anywhere between 500 to about 1,000 miles in length. It is a very large circle as well, so wildebeest do their best to begin and end their migrations within the same general area.
Here's the elephant area.
A little further on the right-hand side, I do see the backside of an African elephant. We're not really getting the best look at him though, but we are headed a bit deeper into some elephant territory. So I am going to keep my fingers crossed that we'll be able to see a few more just a little further ahead.
Pretty flowers over there.
African elephants are a highly intelligent and highly social species. They do live within matriarchies, which means that their herds are both female-led and female-dominated. Females and young will live together within a family herd, but only until the males reach their age of maturity. Once reaching maturity, males do have to leave the family herd, and they leave either on their own choice or the females will chase them out of the herd repetitively until they finally understand that they're no longer needed or wanted around any longer. And once males do leave the herd, they will choose to live on their own in solitary, or they will join a smaller bachelor herd. Bachelor herds of elephants are very common, usually anywhere between 2 to 5 male elephants together at one time. for. I do see a few more elephants on our left-hand side.
I know, I miss my mom like that.
I know.
Because I taught you about coaching.
Just like we as humans have the ability to be left or right hand dominant, elephants are actually able to be left or right tusk dominant. So if you do notice that an elephant might have one tusk that is slightly shorter than the other, the shorter tusk is their dominant tusk. They use it for a few different activities throughout their entire life. But just like our own adult teeth, if an elephant were to lose their tusk, they have unfortunately lost it for the rest of their life. Their tusks do not regrow. But it looks like over on the left-hand side, those are two teenage boys. So they are part of a smaller bachelor herd. We'll next be headed around the greater flamingos. Greater flamingos are the largest of the flamingo species. They do stand at about 5 feet tall when fully grown. Flamingos are born light gray. They are not born pink. The pink coloration of their feathers comes from their diet of brine shrimp, which is rich in the mineral beta-carotene. As flamingos mature, their feathers will turn more pink. A group of flamingos, just like the one on the left-hand side, is also known as a flamboyance.
One was walking away and the other one
And as we do head a little bit deeper into the savanna, looks like coming up on the left-hand side, a little further towards the back, you might be able to see, looks like 4 white rhinos. We're able to tell that those are white rhinos because of their larger size. They do weigh about 5,000 pounds when fully grown. You can also tell by the shape of their upper lip. White rhinos have an upper lip that is more broad and square. It is not prehensile like their relative, the black rhino, that we did see a little earlier. A little further on the right-hand side, my favorite animal on the reserve, that is an ostrich. Ostriches are the largest of the bird species, standing anywhere between about 8 to 10 feet tall when fully grown. They are birds, but they don't have any ability to fly, so instead they run.
Wow, Gigi, you got a good spot.
This is a good shot.
Ostriches are birds, but they don't have any ability to fly, so instead they run. They are able to reach speeds up to 45 miles per hour, which does make ostriches the fastest animal on 2 legs. But the fastest animal is the cheetah, and I do see 2 cheetahs on the left-hand side. They're going to be in that back right-hand corner laying down together in the shade.
Oh, yeah, there they are. You see them, Addie?
One long.
Fastest of the land animals, they can reach speeds up to 70 miles per hour. Cheetahs are able to go 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. It does take them a very small number of strides. As cheetahs run, their tails will work as a rudder, which is how they're able to change their direction. They are diurnal predators as well. This means that cheetahs are more active hunters during the day when the sun is out to help with visibility. They hunt together as a group, also known as a coalition. When a coalition hunts, only one cheetah does chase after their prey at a time. That's because cheetahs are built for their speed, but not for their endurance. They can only maintain their high speeds for usually about the length of 2 football fields, and their bodies will tire out. Well, looks like on the left-hand side, we might be able to see a nocturnal predator. You can start to see him kind of to the right side of that tree. That is the lion.
Status.
There you go.
Lions are a nocturnal predators. They will spend about 16 to 20 hours per day resting. They do their hunting at night. Females are responsible for 95% of the hunting for the pride, while the males will usually stay home and work on keeping their pride and territory protected. They do have about the same eyesight like us during the day, and at night they can see about 6 times better than we're able to. On the left-hand side, they do look like 3 very hairy rocks. Those are the warthogs. Warthogs are the largest of the burrowing species. They do have the ability to build their own burrow, but they're also big believers in reducing, reusing, and recycling. Warthogs are able to reuse a burrow that another animal has already built and left behind. One last look at 2 of those ostriches. We can tell that those ostriches are females because they have light gray feathers. Males will have black feathers. Ostriches are able to lay the largest bird egg as well. Fully developed, an ostrich egg can weigh about 3 pounds. Those eggs are very strong, sturdy, and dense. They're able to hold the weight of a grown adult and not crack. Looks like we will lastly be headed around our warden's post, and the warden does have a few Nigerian dwarf goats out today. These goats are a very playful and social animal. They'll play by headbutting one another, chasing each other, or climbing on top of structures in their environment. This does help the goats to mature, and as these goats mature, they are raised for dairy production. Their milk is used for products like goat milk and goat cheese. Goats are also a species of ruminants, which means that in their stomach they do have 4 compartments. That is how they're able to eat and digest whatever they would like. And if you are interested in getting another look at some domesticated animals like those goats, I do highly recommend taking the Wildlife Express train over to Rafiki's Planet Watch. That train will depart about once every 5 minutes all the way until 4:30 today. And at Rafiki's Planet Watch, you can visit the affection section, where you're able to pet and brush some animals like those goats, as well as cows, pigs, and donkeys. You can also take part in the animation experience, which is a drawing class led by an actual Disney animator. They'll help teach you step by step how to draw some of your favorite Disney characters. Might even be able to see some pretty cool insects and reptiles, such as the Komodo dragon. And in just a second, we will be headed past both of our unload docks. I'm actually taking you guys all the way back to the same spot that I picked you up from, so don't get worried if I don't drop any of you off. Hopefully it'll be just a couple of extra minutes with me. We should get back to that dock as quickly as possible.
How they know when people are around. So like are they in the
Yeah, that's what I was doing. We have to watch it there forever. Stream it anywhere you want to stream it. Once I get it loaded up.
And in mention, over at Rafiki's Planet Watch, you might be able to see a Komodo dragon. We do have 2 Komodo dragons that call Animal Kingdom home. The second one is actually located over in Asia, along the Maharaja Jungle Trek. That is a 15 to 20 minute self-paced walking trip, where you can see the Komodo dragon, the water buffalo, and even 2
I'll probably edit out that time we were
tigers.
just sitting there.
We do have our own walking trail here in Africa. Once I get you guys dropped off at the dock, if you do head down the path and stay towards that right-hand side, you'll find yourself at the entrance to Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Does take about
Just like you
15
did
to
specific
20 minutes to
program
complete
to
as well. And you might be able to see
do a
both our
resume or a
family and
budget or-
bachelor troops of gorillas, as well as meerkats, naked mole rats, and Grevy's zebras. But it looks like once these trucks ahead of us do get into the reserve, we're going to get that all clear to reach our final stop. Thank you guys so much for all of your patience with us today. And if I've had any Wilderness Explorers on board with me, you guys have been on the Simba 1. You can use that code word for page 14 of your Wilderness Explorer guidebook so you can get your safari badge a little later today.
That sucks. It's only load half the buses right
It
now.
looks like we are all set to reach that final stop. Thank you guys so much for joining me out there on the reserve. Hope you guys do have a great rest of your day here at Animal Kingdom. Please go well, go wild, have fun, keep yourself hydrated, and go out there and make a difference in the world on the rest of your journey.
Yes.
And if you're seated on the right hand side, watch your hands, arms, feet, and legs. The doors will be sliding open. Have a good rest of your day, everybody, and thank you so much.